Boxing truth here. Bumsquad back to his ducking ways, which is no surprise. Which is why I haven't made any videos about this fight that's not gonna happen for another few years. It's Mayweather-Pacquiao 2.0. Y'all fuckboys making negotiation videos like fucking idiots when I told y'all all along that this fight wasn't gonna happen next. And guess what? It ain't gonna happen for another 3 or 4 years because Wilder and his team have exposed themselves. Just look at Wilder's comments already putting it out there that that this is the plan all along. This is the fraudulent plan that's been put in place to deceive the public, deceive the media, the Wilder fuckboys, fanboys, whatever you want to call them, because he had no intentions of ever fighting Anthony Joshua. The proof is in the pudding. Like Eddie Hearn says, the proof is in the resumes. Wilder wouldn't fight Dillian Whyte, ducked him. He wouldn't fight Alexander Povetkin, ducked him. Now he's making up all the excuses in the world on why the Joshua fight didn't happen. He absolutely successfully just ducked Anthony Joshua, and he's gonna duck him for another 3 years, as the plan is, and has been the plan all along, is to get Wilder to 50-0. And the Wilder fanboys would accept it. They'll make it seem like Wilder's doing something extraordinary, while Deontay continues to build up his fake ass legacy. What is the point of watching Wilder get to 50-0, 51-0, if he's only gonna fight setup fights? If he's only gonna fight Al Heyman controlled heavyweights? What's the fucking point of watching a guy have his career choreographed into something so fraudulent and something that just really makes you shake your head at the game? Which is why people lose interest in boxing. Which is why I don't make as many boxing videos anymore, because the game's rigged. The game's bullshit. It comes to a point where you get enough of it. You see a lot of fighters protected, building up trash resumes, built up resumes, and there's very few elite real fighters in the game. That's going to be Wilder's plan, similar to what Mayweather did and Heyman did to Pacquiao and Arum. They're going to fight a bunch of setup fights, only fight guys that know they can beat, and Pacquiao in the meantime took real fights against pound for pound level fighters almost every single year, up until the point he got knocked out. And the same situation may happen in this particular situation between Wilder and Joshua. Wilder's going to fight Al Heyman control heavyweights. That'll be instructed to lay down for him. He won't lose his O, because he's never going to fight anyone outside the PBC or anyone that's not in the control of Al Heyman. And in the meantime, Joshua is going to continue to take real fights. He's going to fight threats. He's going to fight top contenders. He's not going to fight guys only inside his stable, inside the Matchroom stable, which he's already doing and taking this challenge and fighting Povetkin, the most experienced heavyweight with the best resume in the division. And it's very likely that Joshua will lose in the meantime while Wilder continues to duck him, because Joshua's going to take real fights. He's a real fighter. I don't think it's going to happen with Povetkin. I think Povetkin's too small, too old, got rocked by David Price. Joshua should get past Povetkin in what could be a tough fight, but I think Joshua wins it. But he could end up losing to Big Baby Miller. He could end up losing to Tyson Fury, because it seems like Joshua is going to end up fighting all these dangerous heavyweights before Wilder even fucking takes a risk by the time he gets to 50-0. You're going to see Wilder fight Dominic Brazil, Anthony Joshua leftovers. And Joshua's going to take on one of the top heavyweights in the division. So who's ducking who? You got one guy taking a real fight against the guy that Wilder ducked, and Wilder's going to fight Anthony Joshua leftovers. Then he's going to fight Charles Martin. Then he's going to fight Luis Ortiz rematch. An Ortiz who was injured, inactive, and Wilder still almost got knocked out by him. So this was the plan all along. Pretend to want the Joshua fight. Have a contract in your hand for over a week. You don't make any comments. You don't show any initiative to try to take the fight. They knew they were being pressured by WBA, and to take their sweet old time into accepting the offer that they didn't want to accept in the first place. It was all a scheme, all ploy to make believe that they wanted to fight. Similar to what Mayweather did to Pacquiao and Aaron. Make believe, pretend you want to fight, and eventually get forced into a risk. But the plan is they're banking on Joshua to lose, eventually to somebody. And Joshua will lose eventually to somebody if he continues to take these tough fights while Wilder stays protected in the PBC. It may not happen with Povetkin, but Big Baby Miller could beat Joshua. Tyson Fury could definitely beat Joshua after his bum fights he gets out the way. And Wilder is going to duck Fury. It's not even going to respond to the call-outs. Not even going to try to negotiate a fight with him. And they're going to turn down the April offer that Eddie Hearn already reached out to him for a date in April of next year for Wembley. The same offer is on the table. $15 million guarantee. Over 6 times the payday Wilder has ever gotten in his career. They said it was a bullshit offer. It took them 4 weeks to accept it, but they never have any intentions in signing the contract. It was all make-believe. Just waited out until WBA lost his cool and just said, fuck it. They pulled the plug. They wanted their mandatory to be fulfilled, and they weren't willing to wait any longer after waiting 2 months of these bullshit negotiations. Which is all it was. It was a big show. Knew all along this fight wasn't happening next, because Wilder don't got no balls. He's a pussy. His team's a pussy. And you're going to see him take a bunch of setup fights for the next 3 years as he gets to 50-0. The fight ain't happening in 2019 either. They're going to turn down that fight for April in Wembley because they don't want to go to the UK. They're too afraid to take that risk to go to the UK and get knocked the fuck out. And that'll be the end of Wilder and his fraudulent reign and protected career. They're going to hope Joshua loses, he loses his straps, and then Wilder can scream on Instagram that he's the best heavyweight, even though he won't take risk, or once out of every 10 years of his entire career, he'll take a risk. Only one live heavyweight he fought, and he was injured going into the fight with high blood pressure, a fucked up hand, and he still almost got knocked the fuck out. Needed protection in that fight to get through that, an old Luis Ortiz. So they're gonna bank on Joshua losing. Then they're gonna try to become the A side, try to get Joshua to come to the U.S. and then try to rob him, as Wilder will be protected on U.S. soil, especially in Las Vegas. Tony Weeks, Robert Byrd, all those trash officials. They don't want to go to the UK because they know they don't have any chance if they go to the UK. At least they have a chance. He'll be protected. He'll be coddled. He'll be able to not get he can get his ass whooped and not get stopped, and he can get a quick stoppage, but with Robert Byrd in his corner. This is what it's all about. Home field advantage. Joshua's the A side. He deserves the right to have the fight where he wants it. He calls the shots, and until he loses, that's how he loses that power. When he loses, and he loses all that straps, and Wilder continues to keep on with his bump streak and get to 50-0. And this is who you fucking Wilder fans worship. Protected bum. A fraud. Fuck Deontay Wilder. Bum. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.